After graduating college last year, I decided to take a flex year. No, not a gap year, a flex year. What is that? Why did I take one? Was it worthwhile? And would it be a good option for you? Well, just keep on watching. We're about to get into it. I coined the term flex year because this was not going to be a gap in my life. In fact, I was determined to make this one of my more meaningful years. The idea was to take the opportunity to pursue flexible jobs so that I could try lots of different things that wouldn't necessarily align well with your typical 9-to-5 schedule. I'm very grateful that my parents were supportive of my flex year and that I was able to live with them, which made this year financially possible. The first type of job that's perfect for a flex year are seasonal jobs. These are jobs that show up for a short amount of time, you work for that season or that month, and then you move on. Think of working at a national park during the summer or at a Christmas tree farm in December. For me, I was interested in working at a haunted house. So in October, I found employment as a vampire. It was a ton of fun. I would spend my weekend nights out in the woods jumping out at people, hoping that they would scream in fear. How often do you get to do that and be paid for it? Freelancing is a great way to make some money while still keeping your schedule flexible. Think about what skills you have and what you could offer to the world. I have a drone and a Part 107 drone license, so I was able to work as a real estate photographer for a rental agency while I was on vacation in Maine. It was a great way to get some work in while still having time to participate in fun family activities. I also did freelance web design and filmmaking, and I tutored high school math and physics. Tutoring is a great option that pays well, but also be aware that it's not the most flexible job because students usually expect to meet consistently every week or however often you've arranged. So just be aware of that and remember that even though you're living a flexible schedule, other people aren't. So once you've made a commitment, really try to honor that. That's important to the flex year. But that said, if there is a date you want to move or a time you want to shift, it's always good to just talk to your tutee or their family and see if there's a way you guys can move that around in a way that'll work for both of you. Now you may be wondering, well, David, what were you keeping your schedule flexible for? Well, for one thing, last-minute opportunities. See, I love acting in film and television, and that was something I really wanted to pursue this year, especially because a lot of those jobs, at least at the level I'm at, are pretty last minute, and they're usually like a day-long gig, so you can't really run your whole life around it. But it was something I really wanted to take advantage of with my year, so I even joined Central Casting down in New York City, and I worked background on Law & Order and SVU down there, and then locally in Massachusetts, I worked background on a film and a television show.
Is that the CEO?
I had a lead in 2 student films, I worked on 3 ads, including one for television, and I did all kinds of stuff. It was a lot of fun, I met some great people and made good connections, and I was paid for most of these, which was great. I've been trying to show you guys this for days. Well, now you might be wondering, what about all the other days? It's true, my freelance work, the haunted house, acting, it didn't take up all my time. I needed something else. I'm interested in teaching in the future, so I also interviewed with a local school system and became a substitute teacher. Subbing is perfect for the flex-year lifestyle. The school typically reaches out to you either the night before or the day of, so you can just check your calendar, and if you're available that day, you can go into the schools, get some valuable teaching experience, and you'll make some money. This is the elementary school I subbed in. I was in preschool, kindergarten a lot. I was the librarian one day, I taught 3rd grade, I helped out in 1st grade, I was all over the place. And then a little later in the year, I expanded to middle school and I taught here 5th grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I taught all kinds of classes from math and history and science to gym class to art class to the maker space. It was always a new adventure every day I came here and it was a lot of fun. I even subbed here at the high school for a day. It was probably the least interesting subbing experience just because the students all had their own work to do and I didn't really have much of a job there other than just keep the class in line, which it was already in line. But you know, if you're looking for just some time to work on your own projects, high school subbing, it's a win. If you are interested in subbing, I highly recommend you get started with the process as soon as possible because it does take some time with the interview and the background check and all that before you get into the system. I also want to take this moment to acknowledge that I was so nervous to try subbing for the first time. The school put me in a preschool as a teacher's aide the first day, and that was a great way to start. I was with another teacher who could help me, and I started to get to know the school better. If you're scared to do it, you should still try if it's something you want to do because it was such a rewarding experience for me, and I ended up subbing 35 times during the year. Another goal of my flex year was that I wanted to travel and live in new environments and immerse myself in those places, and I had to do so on a budget. In November, after spending some time in Oregon and Northern California with my dad, I ventured to San Diego to work on a farm through a program called WWOOF. I actually have a whole video about that experience, but basically you can find locations all over the world where in exchange for working on a farm each day, you get a free place to stay and food covered by the hosts. So it's a very economical way to travel, and you meet other volunteers, so it can be a great social experience as well. Or maybe farming isn't your thing. In March, I did a different type of volunteer trip, this time through WorkAway. It's the same idea as WWOOF, but instead of farming, there are other options too, such as teaching. After extensive research of WorkAways all over the world, I decided to spend 3 weeks teaching English in Cambodia. It was incredible. If you want to learn more about that, check out my recent video about that adventure. While in Asia, I decided to travel some on my own. I visited Chiang Mai, Thailand, Phuket, Thailand, and Perth, Australia. Perth had been a dream destination of mine for the past couple years, and taking the flex year helped push me to make that dream come true. When deciding to go on these trips, I didn't have to worry about leaving my jobs behind. I simply told the schools that I couldn't sub for that month, I coordinated with my freelance work, and if any acting opportunities came up, I just didn't apply for them. After my big Asia trip, I was ready to settle down for a while, so I applied to a movie theater/creamery, and I've been working here since April, mainly in the creamery, scooping ice cream, making milkshakes. I love it. Some jobs like this one let you mark off days that you're not available, and then someone else might be able to fill in for that shift, which is really great for the flex year. But be aware that there's some jobs that aren't like that. For instance, I applied to be a waiter and actually interviewed for it, but it became clear to me that having that job may end up limiting all the other things I wanted to do because they really wanted me every week at certain times, and it was many days of the week. So just keep that in mind that you're going to get a lot of opportunities this year, and it's important to think about which ones will help you accomplish all that you want to do with the year and which ones may end up being a hindrance. If there are activities, experiences, or jobs that you would like to try to broaden your horizons, but that wouldn't fit well during school or a conventional job, then I highly recommend exploring the flex year. You can tailor it towards your interests, like how I did towards mine. And remember that not everything will work out the way you had hoped, and that's okay. Part of the flex year is taking that leap of faith, having a flexible mindset, and just rolling with it however it goes. Now that my flex year is ending, I'm so grateful that I was able to gain new skills, have unusual experiences, live in new cultures, and develop who I am as a person. And who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to pull off the flex life. But for now, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.